And it's a very good afternoon to the Gelding on a special midweek edition of That's Racing Gelding. And the races today at Sandown, an 8-race card, twilight meeting, the first at 3:40 p.m. There's no feature race. But in the discussion prior to the program, Gelding, you and I are both saying it looks like a pretty ordinary sort of meeting.
Yeah, good afternoon, Professor. Hope your day's going well. Good afternoon to the listeners. We're having another crack at midweek racing after the Professor was on fire last Wednesday at Caulfield. So we're heading off to, as what we both said, seems to be at best, could be described as a moderate meeting at Sandown, Professor.
Yeah, I've seen better horses, Gelding, running around. But look, let's face it, it is what it is. And so
yes.
let's try and give the viewers the benefit of our insight into where the good tips might be today. The track's rated a good 4. The rail's in a true position for the entire circuit. Gelding, with this wind,
very shocking wind, isn't it?
Yeah, it could well improve during the day to a good 3.
I do have as I go for a cough lolly, Professor, it's very good hay fever weather out there today. You know, has a bit in it. But look, very ordinary meeting, Professor. I've had a look and saw with surprise. I'm not sure what's happening with the jockey ranks at the moment, but Oliver and Williams aren't riding today, but still plenty of good jockeys there. With Damien Lane, Brett Preble, Jai McNeil. But you know what, Professor? I'm going to go with one of our favourites, Jamie Carr, today. I think she could have a very good day. So both my tips have Jamie Carr on board. So hopefully looking for good rides. The first of them is race 3, horse 10, Poppy Joan, trained by Mara and Eustace. And as I said, to be ridden by Jamie Carr. The horses that I picked, Professor, are very similar. Poppy Joan has had 7 starts for 1 win, a second and 3 thirds. But the Mara Eustace, after a win in the country, is now bringing it to town in a midweek race. Last start, it finished a bit disappointing. 6, beaten by 2.5 lengths at Moonee Valley on a Friday night meeting. But this is a weaker race. I like the Mara Eustace, Jamie Carr combination. So, look, and doing it the right way. Country midweeks, and then we'll look at the city after that, Professor. So the first tip is race 3, number 10, Poppy Joan. My second tip is race 5, number 8, Murami Express, Professor, a 3-year-old trained by Danny O'Brien, again to be ridden by Jamie Carr. Again, this horse is an upper-comer. It's won 1 race out of 7 starts, but has been placed on 4 occasions. So Danny O'Brien, after a win in the country, has brought it for a couple of placings in the city during midweek and continues to go on. So hopefully today, after just missing last start at Sandown by about half a length, can make that up today with Jamie Carr. So they're my 2 tips, Professor. What about yourself?
Yes,
and may I say, Professor, before you tip, you have been in magnificent form the last couple of weeks. So let's hope you can give the listeners some more.
Well, fingers crossed, Gelding. I'm going early, race 2, the Ladbroke Switch Handicap 1,300 metre race for 3-year-old fillies at a benchmark 64. I like horse 4, Cherry Pick, coming out of barrier 1. Gelding, that's a horse that you and I have both had a look at. The probable threat to it is a horse ridden by Jamie Carr.
Yes.
Hopefully Carr can come home like a train, but won't get the chocolates in race 2. Cherry Pick's had 5 starts for a win and 3 placings. It's had a first at Cranbourne, a third at Moonee Valley, so working from the country into the city. It's won over the distance Gelding, so I like that. It's ridden by Logan McNeil, who's a jockey in good form at the moment. His career win rate 7%, but over the last 50, 12%. And local trainer Peter Moody, usual 18% win rate over the last 50, 26% Gelding.
He's on fire, Professor.
So
And
it's important. It's important to go with the trainers who are having success.
An up and coming filly, this one, Professor, Cherry Pick. Moody, a very astute trainer, claiming 3 kilos, bringing the weight of the horse down to 56. Only 8 in it. I'm with you. Agreed to Dangerous Cars Mount, Miss Middle Park, trained by the Freedmans, but happy to go Moody with Cherry Pick, Professor.
All right, Gelding.
Nice pick.
Yeah, the second tip is in race 8, the Get Out.
The Get Out?
And I like the name of the race, Gelding, the Fast Withdrawals Handicap. And I like to say...
very good, Professor.
Yeah, benchmark 70 over 1,600 metres, Gelding. I like horse 7, Hazeltoff, out of barrier 2. It's had 19 starts, hasn't been successful in the winning list, Gelding. Only 2 wins over that 19 starts, but 11 placings. So always in the money, and that's something to pay attention to. It's got a 68% place rate. It's run 3rd over its last 2 starts. The last start was on New Year's Day at Flemington when it ran in a 1,600 metre race. Jamie Carr's piloting, 17% win rate over a career, 18% over the last 50. So I like that. The trainers, now, how do we say this? Robbie Griffiths and Matthew Deco.
No, it is the Cock.
It's the Cock. Okay.
It is the Cock. He's the son of South African's leading trainer. So there was talk that he might have moved out to Australia, but sent his son out with Robbie Griffiths down there at Cranbourne, and they're really going very well. And Matthew de Kock has obviously got some of his old man features, and Robbie Griffiths is very astute, so they place their horses well. And this one of Hazelhoff, you know, as you said, is running around the places, so it's very, very consistent. Jamie Carr's stuck with it, so that's good enough for me, Professor.
Yes,
I think a very good tip by you.
And you're right about Griffiths and de Kock. Their career win rate's 11%, but over the last 50, 14%. So we're going for trainers and jockeys in form, Gelding. That's a very important thing, and that's probably part of the reason for the success.
Yes, Professor, agree completely. And let's hope you can continue your white-hot form at the moment, Professor.
All right, Gelding, the Professor's Parlay. Unfortunately, the horse leg didn't get up on Saturday, but the other 2 legs did. So that's at least 2 out of 3.
Well, the horse did run a place, so you know it wasn't that far off, Professor.
Ran second, Gelding.
Yeah, well, you know, so we're there, Professor, and you know, I'm wondering whether I can add 3 berries to the Professor's Parlay. Can it be the very, 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 very successful Professor's Parlay?
Well, it could be, Gelding. It could be.
Okay. What do you like, Professor?
All right. The agreed horse of the day, race 2, horse 4, Cherry Pick.
Yep.
Showing good odds at $3.90. And let's parlay that into Arsenal at home to beat Burnley. Arsenal, 11 wins from 20 games, a +8 goal difference. Burnley now at the foot of the table, only 1 win out of 17 starts, Gelding. So I think Arsenal look good in that one. And then let's go for Crystal Palace playing at home, but we'll see that Liverpool will overcome Crystal Palace. Liverpool currently second on the Premier League table, 13 wins from 21 starts, +37 goal difference. And if you look at Crystal Palace, they haven't been all that successful, only 5 wins from their 21 matches and -1 goal difference. So Liverpool showing $1.57, Arsenal $1.36. Now, the Professor's Parlay showing the lovely odds of 17-2, Gelding.
Oh, beautiful, Professor. Let's hope. Some big name soccer clubs there, Professor. So we'd be expecting them to win.
Well,
and we hope in the harder league, being the horse league, that Peter Moody can get one home early for us today.
And the good news about that, Gelding, is that not only do we think those big teams are going to do some good, those teams think they're going to win too.
Yeah, which is nothing wrong with picking big name teams, Professor. They got those names for a reason. They're successful clubs.
Exactly right, Gelding. All right, well, enough from us for today. Until
can I say one
yes,
thing,
you can.
Professor,
Sorry, Gelding. My apologies.
I hope you noticed in the paper that one of our favourite jockeys is Willie Pike.
Yes.
And Willie's he's an anti-vaxxer. So he hasn't been riding in Perth. And the mandate as of Perth, if you're not vaccinated on the 5th of February, you're not included in the racing business. So the mail is that he's moving to New South Wales, Professor.
Well,
in the short term. So we'll be taking rides in New South Wales as the next couple of weeks, Professor. So one to watch up there. Hard ranks to break into New South Wales, of course, with one of our favourite jockeys, McDonald, and of course Huey Bowman and McAvoy and all those good jockeys up there. But a jockey we've had a lot of success with in Willie Pike.
Yep.
We'll be moving to New South Wales. So a bit of news for our listeners.
Well, I guess, Gelding, it does open up opportunities in Perth for other jockeys, doesn't it? Because he did have a full book of rides every time he was riding.
Oh, he dominated. And not only was it a full book of rides, Professor, very similar to Damien Oliver here. He was getting the pick of the rides in the races.
Very good full book of riding, Gelding.
Yeah, so his horses, a lot of them were well in the market, if not favourites, Professor. It'd be quite common for him to ride 4 favourites in a day. So, if Willie Pike has a good day, the punters have a good day.
Yeah. And just on another jockey, Sportsfan Radio's own Craig Robertson, Gelding moving to Queensland.
Another relocation.
Yes. He's moving to Queensland to ride, giving away Victoria and moving for a change of scenery, which you can't blame him. And, pity because he was an integral part of this show for quite a number of years.
Oh, I'm sure we will continue to stay in contact, Professor.
There's no doubt about that, Gelding.
We wish Craig the best, but, he didn't get a lot of opportunities from many of the trainers, and that may be an age thing. We're not too sure. But
he did make the most of those opportunities, Gelding.
I think if you look at return on investment as a punter, Professor, on the each way mark, it was not uncommon for Craig to get something up at $8 in the third, or everyone occasionally getting a winner at 40 to 1. So I think return on investment, he was very, very well rewarded. So we wish him the best.
Yeah.
Do we know whether he's heading to the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, or Brisbane itself?
I think it's the Sunshine Coast, Gelding, but okay. I'll have some more information about it on Saturday for us.
Up around Caloundra. So maybe we'll have to start looking at the Caloundra form, Professor.
All right, Gelding, until Saturday's version of That's Racing, it's good luck.
And good punting.